All right. Hopefully everything is recording and going well. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have had a fabulous month. Excited to talk to you tonight and to share some great things that I have learned lately. Things that I hope will help out. Excuse me. I should have grabbed some water before I started. I'm a little parched. Anyway, I hope you're doing fantastic. Excited to talk to you and share some things that hopefully will help. Now, I've heard a lot of comments lately about how do I get rid of the negative inner chatter? And that's one of those things. Boy, I have struggled with that over and over again. And so I totally see what you're talking about. And how do we do that? How do we get rid of that in a way that is constructive and helpful so that we can have the kind of lives that we truly want to live? So I'm excited to share some things tonight. You could post in the comments any other questions that you would like me asking. But tonight, we're going to start off and we're going to talk about getting rid of that negative inner chatter. And along with that, how do you create affirmations that are really helpful, that really resonate with you? And the exercise we're going to talk about tonight will totally help you do that. I'm thankful to my friend Becky Edwards, who was the first one to show this to me as I was having some struggles. I was going through some things that I just couldn't get out of my own head. And she was able to help me step through that in a way that was just really helpful. So again, you benefit from that as I share that with you. So with that, let's just start out, talking about kind of those voices inside of your head that are going back and forth that are generally pretty negative. Now, I heard some research I was reading just the other day that talked about how many thoughts we have on a given day. And I think it was anywhere between 12 and 60,000 thoughts that we have on a given day. But the interesting thing is they said that 98% of the thoughts that we have on today, we also had them yesterday. So 98% of the things we're thinking today, we thought about yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before. You wonder how we get in these repeated cycles, these fail patterns of feeling stuck and trapped. And that's just how life is for me. That's kind of how it seems because we get caught into those traps because we're thinking the same things over and over and over again. And they also say that 80% of the thoughts that we have are negative. So you have 80% of the thoughts that you have that are negative. You have 98% of the thoughts are these repeating thoughts. And we wonder why we struggle. We wonder why we have so much negativity in our thoughts, in our minds, in our thinking, and that then manifest in our lives and how things come to be. So we're going to talk about how to get rid of that negative inner chatter and how to create affirmations that completely, totally resonate with you. So I want you to get a pen. I want you to get a piece of paper. I will stall for just a little minute while you go and find those things. And what's awesome about this is how low tech it is, how easily accessible it is for you to do this every single day to be able to get rid of this negative chatter. So when I talked to my friend Becky, she said, you got to do this. She gave me a 7-day challenge and then had me respond back to her to say how it's been going. So if you want to do this, respond back to me in a week. Do this as a 7-day challenge and respond back to me at scott@nCOURAGE.life. The letter N, the word courage.life, and that will get an email back to me. And then I'll be your accountability coach. I'll help you out so that I'm looking forward to your responses to hear how you're doing and how you're implementing this in your life. So, okay, did I stall enough? You get a piece of paper? Okay. Got my trusty clipboard here. So what we're going to do is you're going to take a line, you're going to create a line and just put it right down in the middle like that. Can you see that? Okay. And then on one side, you're going to put a positive, and on the other side, a negative. So I've got the negative on this side and then a positive here. And then what you do is you start paying attention to your thinking. So what's going on with this negative inner chatter is you've got some core beliefs, some core stories that are eating away at you and that are hurting you. So what we have to do is, first of all, we have to identify these, and then we have to start whittling away at them, getting rid of them. And in order to get rid of these stories, we're going to have to tell ourselves other stories, stories that are true and maybe going to be even more true, if that makes sense. So as we jump into this, what I want you to do is I want you to think about 5 negative thoughts that keep coming, that are coming through your head right now, or today, or have been coming recently. So I want you to think of 5 negative things. So, okay, I'm gonna just kind of jump in and say, some things that, maybe somebody's got going through their head. So I'm gonna put 1, I'm fat. So maybe you have this negative inner chatter that just is beating you up all the time, saying, oh man, I'm so fat. I'm such a fatty. And just killing you with this. And I got to tell you one thing before I go on with this. There's a really interesting study. It's by Dr. Emoto, I think is his last name. Dr. Emoto. He did this. You can Google him, and also Science of Water or a study on water. Anyway, what he did was he froze water while somebody was meditating or thinking about different things while they were holding a glass or something. I'm not exactly sure how they did it, but they would like meditate positive words or negative words while they were with this water, and then they would freeze the droplets, and as they froze, the positive ones created these amazing structures. It was just so beautiful. The pictures are amazing. And then the negative ones were really distorted and horrible looking. The interesting thing is we're 70% water. And so when we beat ourselves up over and over and over again saying, oh, I'm so fat, whatever, and the water in our bodies is absorbing that negativity, that's what's going to manifest in your life. Does that make sense to you? Anyway, another thing that he did, and I followed this experiment, was where I took rice, and I had 2 things of rice, two containers sealed of white rice, and one I said love thoughts to it. I didn't even say anything. I just thought them in my head, and I thought love thoughts while holding this jar for like 20 or 30 seconds. And then this other one, I thought hate thoughts. I hated on that rice. And I thought thoughts of violence and anger and oppression and all this kinds of stuff. Anyway, I kept the jars separate, and over the course of it was like 2.5 weeks, the jar that had the rice that I thought hate thoughts on, it started turning black and green and moldy like really quickly. And the other one stayed pretty much as clean and pure as it was. It actually did get some spots in there. And so maybe I didn't give it the right love, or maybe it had some friendly fire. I'm not really sure. But the point is, we are 70% water. And so if we are thinking these negative thoughts about ourselves all the time, we're internalizing that, our body is going to respond to that and react. So, okay, so on this side, we're writing down 5 negative beliefs about ourselves, the negative inner chatter that we've got. And the first one I've got is I'm saying, okay, I'm fat. Number 2, I'm going to say people don't like me. You ever have those thoughts? I'm not just kind of making stuff up that doesn't relate to you, right? Maybe you think people don't like me, or certain people don't like me, or anyway, you get caught in this negative chatter that is going in your mind that is cutting you down and is not helping you. But anyway, think about what else is going through your mind. I want your list to be different than my list. I'm just kind of giving this as an example. Because honestly, I didn't want to tell you the real negative inner chatter that's going through my mind, because I haven't cleansed today like I normally do. So I should have done that. So people don't like me. Number 3, let's say, people don't like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough is something that comes up all the time. I can't believe how often this is something that is going through our head. We just feel like we're not good enough. We're not worthy enough. We're not skinny enough. We're not smart enough. We're not talented enough. We're not rich enough, whatever it is. I'm not good enough comes up over and over again. So number 4, let's say, I have no talent, okay? I have no talent. I'm such a hack. I don't know. Whatever is going through your mind, I'm just writing down a few negative things as an example here. Let's see, number 5. So the last one, and I don't know how easy it was for you to come up with 5 negative things. Let's say that, I think you have someone at the door. Okay, so I have no talent. Let's say, I don't know, I'm having a hard time with this. Maybe I should just give my own here. Let's see. I'm not successful. Okay, so you got 5 negative thoughts that come to your mind all the time. The first time I did this, wow, I whipped them out really fast. I had 5 thoughts that just repeatedly were hitting me over and over and over again. So what I want you to do, so again, we think more negative thoughts than positive thoughts, and so we need to turn that around. So for each of your 5 negative things that you've got here for negative, I want you to list out 3 positive ones to each negative one. So I'm fat. One of the things you could put is I exercise regularly. Okay, and that can either be true or something you want to be true. And maybe it's sort of true right now. Maybe you exercise once a week, but you're working, you want to make that twice a week or 3 times a week or something like that. And so this is something that either is true right now or you want it to be true, and you're going to start focusing on that and start getting your subconscious mind to work with you. You're collaborating with your subconscious mind. That helps, if that makes sense. Okay, so I exercise regularly. I watch what I eat. Okay, now this is the cool part, is on all of these, when you're giving the third one, when you're giving your third example, I want you to make that something that is an identity statement, okay? So it is something about who you are. Like when I just listed I am fat, that is an identity statement. It's not the identity that I want to have. I want to create this new identity. And so whatever you're kind of thinking of that is the identity that you would like to have, I want you to write that down. So the opposite or a positive aspect of this is you know what I'm going to write? I'm going to write, I have a really big heart. Okay? So that, or I can write, I am a man with a really big heart. And when I write that, that's an I am statement. That's an identity statement. And what you want to do is with each of these that you're doing, each one you want to have one in each that has an identity statement, because that's what we want to change. We want to change this identity about ourselves. And the identity is who or what we associate with. So if I'm telling myself I'm fat all the time, over and over and over again, that's who I'm going to relate with. That's the kind of behavior I'm going to expect out of myself. And so, you know what? When I get depressed, when I get discouraged, I'm going to head to the fridge, because I'm a fatty, and that's how I'm going to get my relief. That's, because I already associate with that. But if I want to change that, if I need to change my own perception first. I need to change my own story so that I could create the kind of life that I want to live. Does that make sense to you? So the third one is always an identity statement. So anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I know you can figure this out on your own. It's not rocket science. The interesting thing is, as you start writing these down, you're going to find that these are that you're going to find that you're going to be able to create affirmations that completely resonate with who you are, who you want to be, where you're at right now, what you're struggling with, and what you want to create in your life. So I know for me, like one of the things that's actually on my list that comes up quite a bit is about finances. And so one of my positive affirmations is money flows to me quickly and easily from multiple sources on a continual basis. As I read that and as I say that, that resonates with me because that's what I have been working on. Does that make sense? Anyway, what we're going to do is on this whole list over here, we're going to create this list of positive affirmations. So once you get the whole list done, okay, you've got your 5 negative things here, and then you've got 15 positive ones. Then what I want you to do is I want you to tear it in half. Okay, and then I want you to take the negative ones and I want you to destroy it. I mean, really destroy it. Now, kind of one of the important things is you want to be able to get enough emotion into what you're doing to release this. You want to get rid of all this toxic thinking that is just dragging you down. And then we're going to turn that energy and make it super positive as we focus on these list of statements that we have. So, okay. So what I would do when I was doing this is I would stand up and I would just get as much anger and frustration out. My negative inner voice says, I am fat. Well, I am not fat, and I do not live that way, and I'm not going to live that way anymore. And that's the old me. And, anyway, I would say all these things as angrily and as frustratingly as I can and just tear it into just all these little pieces. I'd throw them on the ground, and I would, anyway, I just get all my anger and my frustration out as I would do that. I kind of tore into 2. So I don't even have 2 anymore. And actually, I tore into 3 too. I can't even read what I wrote there. But number 4 says, I have no talent. Well, that's not wrong. That's not right, because look, I have awards. That shows I have talent. I have people that like to work with me. I mean, whatever you want to say, whatever it is that is going through your mind with your negative thoughts, you want to just get all of that out and just release yourself from this negative, toxic thinking. Okay, so that's the first part, is releasing that. Now, one of the things that I would do, this is a little out of order, when I got done with everything, when I cleaned up those, I would actually use like a dust buster, because I didn't want to touch the toxic thoughts that had been going through my mind. It's not that I was afraid of them or anything like that, but I just kind of felt like these are toxic thoughts, and I don't want them in my life anymore. I don't want to associate with them. Anyway, so that's the release part. That's the getting rid of the negative. Now you have this list of 15 positive affirmations that you have written that counteract the negativity going on in your life. And so all of the negativity that you've got, you are now countering that with stuff that is specifically designed, statements that are specifically designed, that you have created that match up with your negativity. This is where it gets really fun. So what I want you to do is I want you to stand and put your chin up just a little bit with confidence. I don't know if you know about power poses. Amy Cuddy. You could look up Amy Cuddy, C-U-D-D-Y, and she gave a wonderful TED Talk about power poses. And so what I do is when I do my affirmations, I stand up, I have my chin up, and I speak loudly. Often I will do this when nobody's in the house because, I'm still working on some embarrassment issues. You know, I exercise regularly, and I would just kind of go through each one of these. I watch what I eat. I have, I am someone who has a really big heart. And as I would say these, I would kind of listen to how I was saying them. And you know what? If I was, if I was being a voice coach for somebody, or, you know, kind of coach, I help actors and people as we're doing productions. If I sense that I am not saying it true to my beliefs that I want to have, you know, that I'm holding back a little bit, or there's some hesitancy, or there's a little bit of doubt coming through, I will say, oh, you need to read that one again. And so I'll read it again. I am a man with a really big heart. Okay. And I would just say it until I could say it with conviction. And you go through all 15. And sometimes you need to go through them multiple times in a confident stance, with your chin up, with energy that you're voicing, that you're vocalizing. As you do this, you will start to feel this energy that counteracts the negativity going on in your life. And then what you want to do is you want to repeat this. So you want to look at these, you want to say them, you want to repeat them, and at least once a day. I would do it twice a day, at least, for 7 days. And as you do that, the interesting thing when I first did this was I was surprised to find that I thought I would get the same 5 negative voices coming every day. And they weren't. They were different voices. I actually was able to clear the negative voices on kind of day one, from day one. And when I got to day 2, I had 5 more that I needed to look at. Now, kind of one of the interesting things is right now it's kind of a low time in my life, and I didn't cleanse today. I didn't do this, and I should have. I say should, just not to victimize myself, because I don't believe that you have to do anything. But you know what? Had I done that, I would have been able to clear some of that negativity, and it would have been more constructive for me. So hopefully that helps you out as you're thinking about, you know, the negative inner chatter that's going on in your life, as you're thinking about the stories that you're telling yourself over and over again. And each one of these negative statements is a story. It's a story, and a lot of times it has an end to it. It's not an open-ended story. Like that first one, I said, what, I am fat? I mean, that is like a statement thing. It's a story. That is the end of the story. I mean, you can open that up just by saying, I am fat currently. And even though you may accept that state, because you put currently, or right now, or for a little while, all of a sudden you have this opening there that will let you get through that, because that means it's not going to be your current state all the time. I hope that makes sense to you. But anyway, this is how you can create positive affirmations that will help you counteract that negativity that is going on in your head. It's how you can recognize the negative inner chatter, recognize it for what it is, that it is negative, it is your negative inner voice, and sometimes too, you can say the lie is, and just outright call it out. The lie is I am fat. Wait, is that a lie? And it actually is a lie, because you are not consistent, not going to be that forever, you know, and to have it as an open-ended thing, you know, the truth is I am a little overweight right now. And when you say right now, that again opens it up. Anyway, I don't want to harp on that one. It's the one that came to my mind. I don't know. I don't know what's going through your mind. I don't know what challenges you're having. But this is how you can make each positive affirmation that you create absolutely specific to you, absolutely specific to where you are, and really have that working with your voice. Now, I will tell you one more thing to do. So what I've done is I have put these up on my door over here. Actually, you can kind of see my door here. I'm going to just grab one. Okay. Okay. Here's me being me. Okay, so some of the stuff, I don't even remember what the negativity was that what I was doing with on these, because I tore it up. You can see that it's only a half a page now. I tore it up, and now I have my positive side. And my positive side says this: I step out with faith into the darkness. I rely on God's help with unwavering trust. I am a man of faith, as can be clearly seen in my life. Now, did you recognize that number 3 was an identity one? Okay. This next one says, I am as consistent as a Swiss watch. I stretch and grow daily, opening up new gifts and talents. I am a covenant making and keeping son of God. Okay. So this was kind of a spiritual list I was going through. But you can hear I am. Whenever you say an I am statement, that is an identity statement. Let's see. I'm just going to jump down. I pray daily for God's help. I am a prayerful man, an excellent example of faith in action. I am a producer and creator. I've brought many awesome things to life. I am constantly active. I don't sit and wait. I am never bored. I am a passionate man seeking to bring about good things. Again, you hear that third one is an I am statement. It's an identity statement. So anyway, hopefully that kind of gives you an idea. And I don't know if you can see, but I had them up on my door because these are affirmations that I would look at and go through each day as I went through the challenge. So anyway, hopefully that helps you. Hopefully it helps you get rid of the negative inner chatter that's going on in your mind, and helps you counteract that in a way that is much more constructive. And as you create these positive affirmations, these are power statements. Now, I do want to say one last thing. Maybe you are somebody that looks at affirmations and kind of poo-poos them because it sounds like foo-foo, or I don't know, it sounds a little woo-woo-ish or something like that. But if you think about your negative inner chatter, those are stories that you are telling yourself over and over and over again, and you're doing it unconsciously, and it is negative, and it is destroying yourself. So you already believe or practice affirmations, but you don't practice the helpful ones. And it isn't until you get out and you really do exercises like this, where you are deliberately, consciously choosing the kinds of things you would like to believe and like to create in your life, and putting those into place. So anyway, I hope that helps. Thank you for sending these questions. Thank you for sharing with with me the things that you are working on, and how interesting that it's stuff I'm working on too. And I'm happy to share the things that I've learned, and hopefully this helps you out with whatever you have in your life and where you're going. So I will see you next month. I do have to jump off a little bit early tonight, but I will see you next month. I hope you're having a fantastic time. Again, shoot me an email when you're done with this 7-day challenge, Scott at the letter N, courage.life. Will get an email to me, and I can hear how you're doing. And that's also a great way that you can let me know what you would like me to talk about in the next mastermind. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope you do fantastic. And with that, I'm going to figure out how to stop the recording. Oh, right there.